Welcome, good people. It is Wednesday, which means today we work on our wealth because every 7 p.m. on Wednesday, it is Work on Wealth Wednesday. So whether that is investment strategies or money hacks or cryptocurrency or anything under the umbrella of working on our finances, that's what we talk about every Wednesday, 7 p.m. In our last video, we talked about dollar cost averaging, DCA, and how we could dollar cost average when we buy. So let's quickly review what we talked about in our last video because that'll be a good starting off point for this video, which is about dollar cost averaging when we sell. And if you want to see that whole video on dollar cost averaging, go back to our YouTube channel and check out all our previous videos, one of which is an explanation on DCA. All right, so let us review. Here is the Bitcoin chart over the last 12 months. Ideally, we are buying when it's low, but sometimes we don't know how to time the market. We don't have a crystal ball, so we are buying sometimes at these highs. So in our example, we are talking about starting investing in March and having $1,000. And instead of buying all in $1,000 on March 12th, rather than doing that, we would split up our principal into $100 increments and buy on March 12th, April 12th, May 12th, and so on and so forth. So look, if we bought in all on March 12th, we would be paying $10,000 more for Bitcoin. Now, when we look over those 10 months, that DCA average of 51,390 is much lower than these other prices in March, April, May, October, and November. So that right there shows you the power of DCA. Because if we jumped in all in March, we'd be paying $61,000. But because we averaged it out over 10 months, our average is just over 51,000. And if you look on the chart, our average is actually lower than 5 out of those 10 months. Here's the other point. We don't have to wait and save $1,000 before we jump in. We could just simply spend $100 a month, and it makes it so much easier. All right, so that brings us to today's topic. How do you DCA on the sell? When you are selling, do you have to sell all at once, or can you actually use the same strategy as DCA when you are selling? So once again, here's the 12-month Bitcoin chart, and let's look. Here are the highs in April and November. Remember, we started investing in this example in March. So our DCA price is 51,390. Keep that in mind. Our DCA price is just over $51,000. The all-time high in April, so we buy in March and it hits an all-time high, which is just over $63,000 on April 12th. So let's just look at the last 3 months. And remember, our DCA price is 51,390. Our all-time high is just over $63,000. So now we want to sell because on October 20th, it jumps to $64,000 over the all-time high. And we bought in, our DCA price is 51,000. So we want to pull some profits off the table rather than selling it all in one chunk. Because remember, if we sell it all, we might be kicking ourselves because it goes up after we sell. So to limit that, because we don't know if it's going to keep going up or maybe it drops down. If it drops down and we sold all, that is amazing, but it's hard to time the market that way. So rather than selling all and timing the market perfectly, we're just going to sell some of it. So in this example, we're going to sell 20% of our principal, and we're going to sell on October 20th when it passes that all-time high. And then let's see what happens. One day later, it goes even higher. So then we sell 20% more, and we're patting ourselves on the back for not selling all of it. And then it goes down below the all-time high. We're just going to hold. So right now, we are holding 60% of our investment and 40% we've sold off. So then we wait 3 weeks, and on November 9th, it goes even past 66,000 where we sold before. So you know what? We're going to sell another 20%. And then let's see what happens. It goes down, but it goes down to 65 a few days later on November 15th. And so that's higher than our DCA price. So we decide, you know what, let's sell a little more. So right now we have 20% still in that we're hodling, and we are selling 80%. We've taken 80% off the table to take some profits. So So let's review on this chart. So we've sold on these dates based upon the chart. And the big difference here is when you are dollar cost averaging on the purchase side, you have set dates that you are automatically, no matter what the price is, you are automatically going to make a purchase. Dollar cost averaging on the sell side, you are selling based upon the chart, based upon the market, not at specific dates. So here are the dates we picked based upon when the price of Bitcoin went up. And these are all the prices that we sold at. And our average sell is 66,004. So if we look at our example, if we sold all on one day on October 20th, when it passed that all-time high, we would have sold at 64,517. However, because we used the DCA strategy on the way out, we have a higher average sell by selling chunks as the price goes up. So here's some questions you have to ask yourself before you start this DCA strategy. First is, what is my target price? We know that our DCA price on the purchase side was just over $51,000. So I have to ask myself, when it hits a certain price, at what point am I going to start selling? At what point am I going to start taking profit? All right, the second question is, how much do I want to hodl? Hodl means hold on for dear life, or in other words, how much do I want to hold? In this example, we were holding 20% for the long term, and we're never going to sell that. We're holding that forever. But we sold off 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. We sold off 80% and we took profits. Maybe you want to hodl 80% of it and you're just going to sell off 20% of it. So that's a decision that you have to make. In the case that you want to hodl 80% of it and you want to sell off 20% of it, then that means you are changing your increments. You're going to sell 5% on October 20th. You're going to sell another 5% on October 21st, and so on and so forth. So that price, how much do I want to hodl, determines what percentage you're going to sell every time it hits a new all-time high. The last question is, what is my time frame? Because this determines how fast you want to exit. And depending how fast you want to exit will determine how much percentage you might want to sell at a given time point. It also determines how much you want to hodl. So ask yourself, what is my time frame? What do I want to use with this investment money? And how long do I want to hold it? And maybe I need it for something. So these questions all determine your strategy. So that, my friends, is just a very simple example how you would use the strategy of dollar cost averaging when you sell or when you decide to sell. But remember those questions. What is my target price? How much do I want to hodl? And what is my time frame? You got to answer those first before you develop your DCA strategy. So that is our video for this week, DCA on the sell. If you have any questions, let us know. Go to the YouTube description and click the link, post your question there, and we'll make sure to answer any viewer questions. But until next Wednesday, remember, we come to you every single Wednesday at 7 o'clock for Work on Wealth Wednesdays. But until then, God bless, stay safe, and keep learning.